Passing through the depths of outer space.
Hello, I'm alive. I don't know what's going on.
By your command. Fascinating.
Damn you all to hell!
This is the Solar Sci-Fi Podcast. This is episode 78 of the Solon Sci-Fi Podcast. I'm Michael Ball, aka Co-Clud. I'm back after a big gap because of things going on in our lives. I'm joined once again by the oracle of science fiction knowledge, the man who's taught me more about science fiction than God has taught me about the Bible. It is my good friend Martin Sci-Fi Uphill himself. How's that for an intro?
I'm totally humbled. I'm humbled you've destroyed me totally. I am completely, utterly humbled.
Oh, it's good to hear from you. It's
I
good
mean,
to see you.
I don't want to get egotistical. I'm not even going to say it, but you know, of science fiction. Thank you very much.
Oh, it's
And
really
how's
good to
life
have
in
you back.
Portsmouth?
Yeah,
No. Yeah,
It's
go on,
all been
sorry.
going on. I was going to say we've all been busy. I mean, you've moved house, which you could talk about, and you could talk about your background. I was ill for a couple of weeks. I've got something called channelopathy, and it's my condition. When I get a virus, I get really severe weakness in the legs. If it's that bad, I can affect my respiratory system. I end up in hospital, and I literally couldn't walk for a week. I was literally hobbling about. My family was so supportive, really kind. I wish I could say the same about work. I won't say too much, but let's just say that it's surprising just how some people sleep at night when it comes to people with health issues. But luckily, I'm back. I'm fighting fit.
Yes.
I'm back to normal. We've been out and about. We went to Thorpe Park the other day, which was packed out. And there was
I
this
saw
thing.
the pictures. I saw the
There
pictures
was
for that.
a fast track, but it had a Stargate on it. It had a Stargate chevrons on the logo. Which
Yeah.
is surprising.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
But no, it's good. It's really good to be back. Like I said, people, especially for people like Trek Fan 68, we just, like I said, we have things that we have to do sometimes. But like I said, we will try and be on as much as possible, but we can't always be on. Oh, shout out to Tom as well. I don't know what Tom is doing, but
Hello,
I'm sure he's
Tom.
on. Hello, Tom.
Trek fan.
Hello, Trek Fan 68. So, Martin, tell me all about this thing. So, you've got, just to say for people on audio, Martin has got a picture of a shop behind him, which says "For Your Eyes Only," which, of course, first of all makes me think of James Bond. It's not James Bond. Can you tell us a little bit about what you've discovered in your new neighbourhood?
I was on the bus. I was in an area called Forest Hill going through yesterday. It's really deep South London. It's really far south. And I was on the bus and I looked and I thought I was going one way and I thought, no. And then I looked and we went past. And on the way back, when I was going back home, I went past the bus stop, but then I missed the stop and I couldn't believe there were people in there. And it said free videos, £6.
Yeah.
And it's a video library. It's a video
Wow.
library.
From a
And
video
it's actually-
library.
I've tried finding some information about because I was going to go in with my phone and film it for YouTube, but
Oh,
the
that would've
bus
been
shot
interesting.
passed. So
Oh.
next time I'm that way, I'm definitely going to go and make a video.
That would be a good thing for you. 'Cause, I mean, both of us haven't done much on YouTube recently.
I just have so much on recently.
No.
but
I
I'm
mean,
back now.
I've done stuff, but a lot of the stuff that I put on YouTube, I did literally back last October, so it's not as if it's anything new. I'm working on YouTube graphics at the moment for March 2023, which is really quite bizarre. I'm that far
I'd just
ahead.
like to say congratulations on the 70,000 as well.
Thank you. It's 71,000, nearly 200 now. So it's So I've got another nearly 1,200. It's really good. Got a lot of
That's
support.
excellent news. I was so happy for you when you got
Oh,
that. I
thank
really
you. And
was.
it's like I said, I wish there was a bit more of the focus on the sci-fi and more. My channel's more the comedy side, but it's still, it's a bit of a feather in the cap. And thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate
You've got
that.
my support, mate. You know that. So
Thank you.
Definitely.
Now, most important thing on this podcast, again, this won't be seen by audio. I have got the infamous bus station behind me. The only reason, do you know why?
Yeah, you have. I thought that was like I thought that was
No.
a space launch platform.
No, I don't. No, you wouldn't get that in Ride in the Isle of Wight. No, we had a really terrific thunderstorm about 2 weeks ago. What so
Yes.
bad that up the road, a lightning bolt, we think, hit the road and turfed up all the tarmac. It was like a crater. It was just like the
I saw
crater.
that on YouTube.
It reminded me of the crater from War of the Worlds, from the Tom Cruise version, where he's literally and it's all turfed up. And some people are saying it was a water main that burst underneath, but I don't know if it was because it was that very night. Lightning hit that very area. It was really, really loud.
Yeah, well, because
So,
I recorded it in my garden, and I've got the lightning on.
So in the background, if you watch my thing, you'll see flashes of lightning. So I was very clever on that night because there's a 9-hour delay. In the morning, I thought, let's grab it. I was flashing just going off then.
Oh wow, excellent.
So that's why. So it's this is the last bus cam. I don't know. I might have had some more.
I
Bus cam.
like bus cams. Bus cams.
Yeah, I know. I know.
It says that we're both a pair of sad people, and we need.
Well, I'm not
I've got a
disputing
video
that.
library.
I'm not disputing that. No, I mean, it's funny, you know how. But I'm at the point now. I mean, I'm 50 next year, and it's funny because my friend is 50 this year, and he kept it quiet. And it's kind of, I don't know about you, but when you get towards that age, you have to think, well, look, this is who I am, and this is what I like. And if you don't like what I like, then bollocks to you, basically. You know?
Yeah. No, there is a change. I was speaking to a friend of mine, and she's just turned 50, and she said, life now it's about experience. It's not about material stuff. And
absolutely.
ego
absolutely.
and all that. It's about getting out.
That's why I
life
want to travel
experience
more.
stuff.
And this, the
Yeah,
really
same
thing,
here.
the tough thing, right, since COVID is before that, I had gone to Italy, I'd gone back up to Scotland, I've been to America, and ever since then, of course, I've hardly done anything. And I've been feeling
Yep,
so
same
stir
for me.
crazy. I really want to go out there and see some of the world. I really do now.
Well,
I never used to.
I'm booking this sleeper train in next couple of weeks. It goes from Euston all the way to the top of the country, but you can sleep on the train. You get a cabin.
Oh, I did that as a kid. I've not done it since I was a kid, but
Yeah,
I
I've
know
not
it's
done
nice
it.
to
I
do.
want to do that. I'm doing it in
Yeah,
the next couple
yeah.
of weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we last year before last, we took a plane from Southampton, flew up to Glasgow, hired out a car, and we drove up to John O'Groats. Which is really
That's
good.
it. Yeah, the train goes.
And so we
straight
drove
there,
it, and that was fun. That was really good because
Yeah.
I've been to Land's End, so I've now been the other end of John O'Groats. That's really good fun. But yeah, do it, mate. I mean, it's so relaxing. You sit there and you can watch the world go by. You can have a beer or something. It's lovely.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. Absolutely. I mean, but the thing is, I know that in other countries there's more restrictions, but you go to a theme park. Must have been out of 100 people, like maybe 5 of those were actually wearing a mask. There was no restrictions at all. It was like COVID had never existed. And I felt a bit uncomfortable with that.
I'm like you, mate. I've got fibro, and I've got to be careful myself.
Yeah, so I'm obviously
I'm not
careful.
taking my mask. Is not coming off until this thing is 99% gone.
Yeah, I mean, do you
Now,
think
I was on the bus the other day. There were loads of just. It's like life's back to normal, and you know,
very strange.
I
It's
don't
very
say
strange.
I'm not, but there could be another wave of some other variant. I'm just not prepared to take the risk.
Yeah, and I mean, some people are saying it might be now that we're at the point where herd immunity is starting to come into account, because if that many people have been vaccinated and those other people have had the virus of some sort, I think that when I had my latest attack where I couldn't walk, I think I had it, because I did do the test.
You might have done.
I did do the test and it didn't show up, but I didn't feel that ill. But I couldn't walk for a week. I literally could hardly get out of bed. Honestly, it's so awful. And it's like I said, family are great, but when you have, you know, like I said,
I wish you'd told me, mate. Do you know what I mean? I would have.
Oh no, that's all right. No. I appreciate you saying that. That's very kind of you. But it wasn't really me sort of wanting to announce it. It was just the fact that when you're in a professional environment, I went to occupational health, and they were so nice in there. They could see exactly what was going on, and I felt much better about that. But like I said, I'm not going to say too much, but some people just don't get it, and they just think that you're taking the piss, and obviously that's a shame, because that's not.
No, mate, you've got to put your health first.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, in the end, the most important thing
Totally
is friends and
agree with
family. You know, so that's what I'm doing. But we're all fine. Enough of that. We should not go on about that. We are here for science fiction and general chat, and of course,
it's amazing, isn't it? We took a few weeks off to get the old creative energies going again.
Oh,
and,
yeah, I
and
think we need to do
suddenly,
it.
this week, suddenly over the last fortnight, there's been non-stop science fiction news.
Yeah, that's it. And I'm going to have a big talk about Chris Chibnall and the Jodie Whittaker going, and a bit of Star Trek news.
Shut the door on the way out as well. I'm sorry, I've always
But
wanted
we're
to say
gonna
that.
we still do the news after the topic. We're gonna.
Chibnall,
I know. I can't wait. Okay.
Sorry for my
What was it?
language. Sorry.
That's fine. We're going to talk about that because I really want to bounce off you with this one. But let's go into our focus of the week first of all, which is a series. I'm going to hit the jingle and then we'll announce it. And here we go.
It's the
Solar Sci-Fi
focus of the week.
All right, so this week is a show which was very much kind of like an afterthought after watching the 1970s Battlestar Galactica. You can see it was made by the same people. The effects were very similar. The ships were very similar. Even had all the same sound effects. It was on ITV in Saturday nights in the early 80s, I think, around about the time of the 18.
5:30.
Yeah.
5 on ITV.
And I never watched it properly, but I loved it. And I still have not seen every episode. And that is, of course, Buck Rogers in the 25th century with Gil Gerard and that blonde woman and Tweaky and everything. A great show. So let's ask you, Martin, first of all. Tell me about your thoughts on Buck Rogers in the 25th century.
Is this for an adult audience? Yeah.
It's It's not.
I'm gonna give you one of the biggest questions in the universe: Princess Ardella or Wilma Daring? I ask everybody that, and people never give me a direct answer. I asked my mate that. I said, who would you marry? Princess Ardella.
Are we talking about marriage or anything else? It depends on what
that's
exactly.
Is it for an adult? Who would it be?
If it's marriage, it'll be Wilma. If it was for anything else, it would probably be the princess for me.
I had a thing for Princess Ardella for years. I don't know. I did. I'm sorry. And I'm not objectifying anybody. I was a young kid. And when she come on and he says, do you want, she says, what you doing? I'm getting down and boogie.
And he starts doodle-a-doom, doodle-a-doom, doodle-a-doom. And this guy sort of like doing this. Yeah, I know. Did she come back? I know she was in the pilot. Did she return her character?
Yeah, she came back. I think she came back 3 times. There were the 2-parter at the end of the season, The War Witch.
I've been watching more the second season recently with Hawk, but I didn't see it. I know a lot of people. I know
she's not in it. They changed the format, didn't they? Changed the format.
I was going to say
that's why it got cancelled.
It reminds me a bit of Space 1999. The second season was quite different from the first season, I think. So obviously the first season. I mean, one thing I remember watching the pilot, and I'm going to try and feature it at the end, was this cheesy vocal version of the theme tune where Buck is and he's like he's frozen in the shuttlecraft, and then all these damsels are in this space looking background, and they're like sliding down slides and spinning around. And
what you mean when he's having a dirty fantasy?
Yeah, it's like he's having a frozen wet dream.
He starts with Princess Ardella in the bikini.
Yeah, and then we get all these other damsels.
Wilma.
She's in
Wilma
it.
doing
like this with her hair. She does it with her hair. That's it. Yeah, that's it. And then you have all these other people.
And Buck got a stiffy on for 500 years. Sorry.
That's what I'd call a long-term hard-on, isn't it? Really? Yeah.
Definitely. Frozen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know.
It's a weird beginning, isn't it? It's very James Bond-esque in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's not. It's James Bond does it in a kind of cool way.
Classy,
this was pure cheese. This was.
Yeah, it's cheesy, but it's so sick for the
time. But it's funny cheesy.
Yeah, because you've got him who played Cannon, William Conrad, doing the voice at the beginning. as
Yes.
Captain Buck Rogers of Ranger One, and he went off on his trajectory and ended up going into sleep for 500. And then you get all these weird lights, and then there's all these women there flying around.
Yeah, and of course, in the end, you have the theme tune, but not the vocal thing. Like I said, I'll try and take it on at the end of this episode, but with YouTube, might be a bit funny about it.
Be careful, because I edited a video 4 times about season 2 and how shit it was. And
do you know what I'm going to do? What I might do to be funny, I'm going to put a flanger on it. So you'll get the end thing, but I'm going to make their voices sound a bit more like, when he sings it, more like a gold or something. So it'd be funny. It'd be weird, odd. But if you do that, you should then still have it. It's a weird thing, but I should be able to do it so that I'm mucking about slightly with the end theme tune.
Just be careful, because
that's why I'm doing it.
Me 4 times.
Yeah, I know. I remember you saying that because you talked about it recently, which is a real shame. And it's funny how, I mean, the show is 40 years old nearly.
Yep,
is it really blockable? Is it really? Sorry, I'm watching an email. TARDIS email. Is it really blockable and really an issue to have Buck Rogers from 1982 or whenever it was? I don't understand you. YouTube's very odd at the moment. The adverts are getting ridiculous.
It's a great show. I watched it over the last few weeks ago. I even went through season 2. And this time round, I didn't mind season 2. Quite enjoyed 1 or 2 episodes.
I didn't mind it. I think it's okay. I think it's all right.
But it's about, I'd say, out of the 13 episodes, there's 3 that are quite good.
Yeah. I mean, even like Space 1999, even the second season, it has 1 or 2 which actually still good. And you get
I like the trial where he got blamed for the Holocaust.
Oh,
in the second season,
I haven't seen that one yet.
Very good. Because he has to go back through his memories. I like the thing with the Guardians as well, where they find this lame kid who becomes a cosmic entity with his like universal, like they guard the universe, like higher up beings or whatever.
But of course, in the second season, he's on a ship, isn't he? And Tweaky's there. And there's another. What's the name of the other robot? The one with the tall thing in the neck?
Crichton.
Crichton. It is called Crichton. I was thinking to myself, is that too close to Red Dwarf? But it's called Crichton as well. And
Admiral Asimov.
Yes.
And you know what they did to Wilma's character was out of order, because they really downgraded her character. First season, she's a warrior, and she's a great supporting character.
Second one, she's just more like a colleague, just sort of going through the motions, isn't she?
She just sat on a communications board.
Yeah, she's more like a hura rather than a sort of warrior. She's first season she's more like Worf, and the second season she's more like Nurse Chapel.
No, you're right. Yeah, I like the comparison. You're totally right. Yeah.
But I mean, it is. I mean, how do you think it's regarded generally by people? I mean, obviously we've both seen it. Although
I've got a love for Buck Rogers. I saw the pilot episode at the cinema.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
that's right. It wasn't same as
Leeds, it was only on at one cinema in Leeds. Yeah,
I think Battlestar Galactica was also released for the first.
I saw that
in cinema as well.
Because in America, in America for some reason there were certain episodes where like they edit some episodes together, like the Spider-Man movies in the 80s,
and they join them together.
They released them at the cinema. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. And I think
it's weird because we were like the only countries that got this stuff. Like Man from U.N.C.L.E., they did it with that as well.
Really?
They made the money. Yes, they made the money
because they're releasing it as like, and also, I mean, the thing is, one thing about Battlestar and Buck Rogers is that all the ship special effects only really are all done in the pilots in the first episodes, and then the rest of the season, 90% of the footage of the ships is recycled. Now I know you got that in Star Trek as well, but not to that degree. And literally every single Viper or every single ship in Battlestar and Buck Rogers is recycled footage or reverse round.
Yeah, because you know where it's going to blow up and all that.
Yeah. You know when the Cylon ship is going to.
Also, did a bit of history here that the Starfighter, which I think is the best looking,
really good design in
Buck Rogers, was originally going to be the Viper on the Galactica before they changed the design.
Really? That's interesting. I didn't know that. I mean, and
I love the Starfighter. I think it's absolutely superb.
Well, I mean, the Buck Rogers, obviously the Viper was definitely has some elements of the X-Wing from Star Wars. And
Yes,
I think
that's why they probably changed it.
and I think although it's a different shape, for some reason when I think of a Cylon Raider, I also think of, I don't know why, if you had two Cylon Raiders up like that with the middle bit, that would be like a TIE fighter. You know, you could see how they use elements of other sort of Star Wars ships and put them into Buck Rogers and Battlestar Galactica. But the in Ready Player One, you do see a starfighter from Buck Rogers in the background. I don't know if you've seen I think you've seen Ready Player One, but there is a lot of scenes.
Yeah, I have, yeah.
There's one scene, in the same scene, you see Doctor Who's TARDIS, and you can even recognise it as the 12 Doctors. And then you see a pod from 2001, and then in the background you see a Buck Rogers starfighting as well, which is really cool. If you watch that film, there literally are hundreds of sci-fi references in every scene, which I like about that film. And that's what made me think about it, because of course you saw Buck Rogers. I mean, are you surprised? Because Battlestar Galactica did get a remake with Ronald D. Moore, which was actually relatively successful. I think it's actually a very good series in its own right. Although, like you, the last season had a lot of problems. Are you surprised that they didn't redo Buck Rogers in the 25th century in recent years?
Buck Rogers is getting redone. It is getting redone.
So it is being redone anyway?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, it's getting redone now, actually. George Clooney's involved.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
I don't know if he's going to be Buck, but he's involved in it. He's something to do with his production company, yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
I think they're going... You see, you've got to realise Buck were meant to be this, 20-year-old in the original 1930s thing. And I don't know, he went down the mine shaft. He was the pilot.
I mean, in the show...
pilot.
I mean, in the Gil Gerard one, he must have been in his,
yeah, he's an astronaut, yeah.
But how old was he? How old was his character in that show? He looked like he's in his late 30s. Late 30s.
Definitely, yeah. 35 to 40.
That's what I'm saying. So he's a bit old, wasn't he?
He's an experienced combat veteran, isn't he?
Yeah.
But he's in the original story of Buck Rogers. The first book was called Armageddon 2025 or something. And he wakes up. It's like all the... It's like the Earth's been corrupted by corporations and mafia and this and the hidden city's got to fight back. It's similar. That's what they're going with the original storyline.
Right. Okay, that's interesting.
It's quite. Yeah. It's not as big as what you think it is, really. But Buck Rogers is an amazing concept. It really is. I think it's going to be very post-apocalyptic. I think that's where they're going with it now.
Oh, because of the gap between when he gets stuck in space and then he comes back. I mean, well, that is in the original pilot. In the pilot, he goes back to, I don't know if it's Los Angeles, but he goes back to a city. And of course, there are people
Chicago,
still there.
Yeah,
it's Chicago, and it's
they changed all that though after the pilot movie, because when in the pilot movie, he goes to an arc. There were a name for it. He goes to where that old Chicago, and it's full of mutants and that.
Yeah. That's right.
But in the TV series, you've got New Vegas, New London. There's even national parks and forests. And
the way I saw it was a bit, as you say, it's a contradiction, because they had these major cities, but he also went to, as you say, if it was Chicago, I can't remember the city, which was run down, completely abandoned. But you had mutants, post-radiation people who were mutated. Why are they just left to it, and you've got these other major cities?
I don't know. That
doesn't make sense thinking about it. You know,
no, because they've got all that technology, they could cure them people.
That's right.
You know, so I don't know, but that all got dropped, didn't it? They dropped it.
I didn't really think about it until you said. I mean, I think
honestly, because when I watched it this time round, I watched it about 5-6 weeks ago.
Right.
And all of it, and I thought, oh God, yeah, he's in a national park now. And where he goes to Mount Rushmore, and he flies off to Vegas, and all this. And also, Earth's part of some Interstellar Federation called the.
Yes, they're not alone. They are part of a federation. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, because I've been to Yosemite National Park myself, and it's absolutely fabulous place to go to. So I'd forgotten that was featured as well in Buck Rogers, which is quite an interesting parallel.
Yeah. This is what I mean. Well, like everything that were dark in the. Because I'm a big fan of pilot movie. It's quite post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, I like it too. I think it's very solid.
And then all that got dropped.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? I mean,
yeah.
Funny how a pilot goes one way and then the series goes another. It happens quite a lot in these sort of shows. It's quite
Did
strange.
you like Doctor Who? Did you like Doctor Who? What did you think to the supporting characters in the first series?
I thought it was Dr. Theolopoulos or something was the one in the first.
No, that
what
was the computer thing, round robots.
Oh, that's right. Well, there was a guy with the white hair who was the doctor in the first
Google.
season. I know, I should Google it.
No, Google. You know, one of these.
Yeah, I know. Google
Alexa.
those. Yeah, Alexa.
Alexa. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I like the fact that they had these sort of like intelligences. Right, the Twiki wore the Doctor on his chest, and they were part of like this artificial intelligence society.
Yeah, the Computer Council.
Yeah, there was a council which had a heavy influence on humanity. But
they saved the planet though. They saved the planet though, didn't they, from human destruction?
Yeah, that's right. And so that's why. But in the end, they didn't take over. It was more like it was a mutual.
benevolent.
It was a mutual society with artificial intelligence plus humanity, who would, as you say, were helped for post-apocalyptic times, so that they've got a society.
I mean, I watched an episode. It was about the band Andromeda, with the pop band.
Was it?
And yeah, there's one with a pop band called Andromeda, and
I think I've missed more episodes. I've obviously missed a quite a few.
I won't give you any spoilers.
No, that's all right. No, but it's but I mean, the actress who plays Wilma Deering, she appeared in Star Trek Continues, which I thought was quite a nice thing to see.
Yeah, she's lovely. I've met her. I've met both of them too. She's lovely. She looks amazing for her age.
She does, and also Gil Gerard or Gil Gerard. Is it Gil Gerard? I think that's how it's pronounced.
I think it's Gil.
Yeah, it's definitely Gil. I know, but it's because it would be Jay, wouldn't it?
It's Gil. It is
Gil Gerard.
Yeah.
He appeared in an episode of Star Trek Phase 2 as well.
Yeah, he did.
He played
was
an
admiral, actually.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So both those two actors have appeared in the two main Star Trek fan films, which I think, or fan series, which is quite cool.
And Princess Ardella dropped out. She got married to some producer or some television executive and started writing cookbooks.
Oh God!
That's what she does now. I
thought that was Jane Badler who did that. For some reason, I always mix her up with Jane Badler from V because they look quite similar. And I know that she dropped out as well, but I think she was. I mean, she was.
I like Lydia, mate. June Chadwick. Well, these are we grew up with these people, didn't we? These were our
But I mean, of course, I remember Faye Grant, who played.
Oh gosh, they were gorgeous. Then.
Well, no, but she married. I've told you about this before. She married Stephen Collins, who of course played Decker in Star Trek: The Motion Picture, and we all know what he did.
Did she get married? What did he do?
It's on YouTube where she recorded a conversation where he admitted that he did something to a little kid or something, and then they had a divorce.
Are we allowed to mention that? Are we allowed to mention that?
Well, it's not.
Edit it out.
Yeah. Maybe.
Oh, is it public knowledge then?
Oh no, it's public. No, it was a big scandal. Let's just say something bad happened, but yeah, I mean, this is not. We're not saying. Speculating. This is actually a documented factor.
Yeah, right. If it's out there in public domain, you're all right.
Yeah, it's obviously this is not what we're speculating. This is what
I didn't know about that, Captain Decker.
Yeah. I did tell you about this a while ago, and you were quite shocked.
I think you did. Yeah, I'm getting a memory flash of that right now.
Stephen Collins. He basically.
I didn't know he got married to her though.
Yeah, they were married. Yeah. Which of course is cool because they're both in two shows I really love: Star Trek, and V, which is another big one. Which we have done the show on V as well. We have done that. So anything else you want to say about this particular series? I think we've covered it.
Look, I think season 1 there was something amazing about it was like Buck. He were in this. I loved all that. You had ridiculous pantomime villains that were all up the backside, and Buck took the piss out of them and defeated them. And I like Buck because Buck is like the all-round decent, good guy, and he does the right thing, And we don't say much of that anymore.
No,
you know what I mean? You don't, and the guy's quite an inspiration. As a kid, that guy's doing the right thing. He's helping people, and he's not a mass murderer.
Someone you like,
same villains.
Yeah, and someone you can like, and kind of.
And then we got season 2 with him. I'm sorry, but I fucking hate Birdman.
Hawk with his silly haircut.
in his fucking plastic codpiece and that ridiculous headpiece.
And that
he's got a massive
shaped ship. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got the ship was quite cool, apart from his joystick with feathers on it. But and then he's got like you've
I forgot about the joystick with the feathers on.
Well, he has. He's flying these bird ships, right? And his joystick. I'm rephrasing this.
Yeah, can you be careful? Yeah, because kids might be watching. Yeah.
Yeah, right. But, it's
feathery joystick.
The thing he drives, the thing he flies, that it looks like it's got an eagle.
The thing he holds between his legs. The thing he holds between his legs.
Well, it's got an eagle's head. It looks really fucking cheesy, right? And he's got a big nose as well. It's like the founding foot size of his conch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and he's got no personality whatsoever, and he's just boring. But he becomes like Buck's sidekick.
Psychic, yeah.
It's like Buck Rogers and Birdman.
I think he was more like I think of him more as a feathery Worf, or a feathery Tilk or someone. One of those. He's got that Tilkism and Worfism about this sort of hard man. A bit, or Bortus, or even
a
little bit, a bit.
Yeah, because he's not exactly Tilk, is he? I mean, Tilk's fucking amazing.
Yeah. Oh no. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying the hard
comparing Birdman to Tilk.
But he's big and he's serious and he hasn't got a sense of humour, and that's Worf and Tilk do have parallels, and also Bortus on the Orville is another one. Is similar. They have that similar feel.
Well, but they have a sense of humour. Birdman's got none of that. Birdman, I don't even know what he does. He just he looks ridiculous in that cheap, nasty costume. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, and he's got a big nose.
Well, you know what they say.
He can sniff it. No.
We've already been going on about feathery joysticks, so maybe we should not talk a lot of focus on that.
No, I mean, the second season was absolutely terrible, but there is 3 decent episodes in there.
So how did it finish? Did it just finish on like a standalone episode?
Finished. That was it. I think it finished on the trial.
It wasn't like a cliffhanger or anything like that.
No. They found some archaeologists have found a videotape from 500 years ago accusing Buck Rogers of causing the Holocaust.
Oh, okay.
And it all comes out. They use their mindset. All these judges turn up from Intergalactic Federation, and it's quite a big thing, because what happens, you end up going back into Buck's life, and
you get flashbacks.
He went. The government at that time put a block in his head because he went undercover to stop these conspiracies that wanted to start a nuclear war, and he obviously were innocent, and he stopped the conspiracy and he went into deep space. But there is another episode, it's called The Guardians.
Okay,
and that's the one with these McBeans. They find this box, and it's like part of the universe, like a Q-type instrument, like the loads of Qs. And he sleeps next to the box, and the box transports him 2 days before he launches into space.
Oh.
And he's at home talking to his mother. And it's quite interesting, that, because I found that's where there was potential. I was annoyed what they did with Wilma Daring. They should not have done that, Setting Gray's character.
Yeah, sometimes they don't quite know how to do it. Yeah. And she was a person of authority and strength and everything. Yeah, I can see where you're going.
Yeah. And
she was different. Tweaky as well.
Tweaky's voice was different as well.
Tweaky was annoying. I wasn't a big fan of Tweaky, but frankly, it's too good.
I liked Tweaky. I liked him in first season, but they changed his voice to this silly voice, and then they got the original voice back.
Oh, a bit like I was going to say K9 had that in Doctor Who, because at one season he had a different voice, and then he came back with the original voice again, which was really annoying. And he sounded really. K9 sounded, oh, I name this K9, and he sounded like, I don't know what he was on, but he was on something. So
but the worst episode I'd say out of Buck Rogers is where he meets Dracula.
Oh no! Well, I'm going to watch them all. I will watch them all. I've not seen them all.
He meets Dracula. Well, it's space vampire, and my God, he's worse.
They always do that. There's a lot of parallels between this and Space 1999 when there was space vampires.
Yeah, the space vampire at one stage is after Wilma, and only she can see him. But Buck defeats him at end. I mean, he looks worse than Birdman. He's got this big bulbous head and pointed ears coming out, and
Has he got the
floats
teeth though?
around
Has he got the vampire
Yeah,
teeth?
yeah, he's
though?
got the teeth, and he
Oh,
floats
they've got
around
the
as he changes into an orange blob-like thing floating about.
As you do.
It's like cheesy effects at its worst. But Buck Rogers is in my top 10 sci-fi series of all
Well, I
time.
like it as well, although I have to admit that I have not seen every episode, but I wanted to run it by you. And
Yeah,
I
do you
will
think
watch
they'd
them.
pull that off today? I mean, it were bikini-clad women and
No,
roller
no.
disco and disco
no way.
lights everywhere.
No
Yeah,
way.
no, the people would be freaking out about it now. But Buck Rogers is of its time, and it's a classic.
It's actually it's very interesting to speculate with the nature of how everything's going, which I'm not going to go on to. People know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But it's going to be it's getting very hard for TV shows in general to be made because everything's very confined about what you should do, what you shouldn't do, and it's
And I think that's a big
and I think it's a
mistake of what
real,
they do.
real shame. And even compared to even in the nearly 2 years we've been doing this, well, a year and a half, it's changed and it's getting more and more like that. And it's quite. This is why I'm stockpiling on all my old films and all these old
Yeah, you do,
series,
right?
because eventually, if you depend on streaming things, they will be edited, they'll be cut back, it's all. I don't know, it's a bit scary.
Well, they
So-
upgraded Flash Gordon to an adult, didn't they? They upgraded.
Yeah, and
the
even Star Wars, the original Star Wars, which is always certificate view, has got up to PG.
I saw that when I was 7 or 8.
I was
you know.
absolutely, I was horrified. I mean, Star Wars is one of the most pinnacle science fiction family
I
films
think for
ever
all
made.
of us, yeah,
It is-
definitely. My
why-
entire family went to see that.
Why on earth would that go up to PG? I mean, the PG doesn't really
I don't
make much
know.
difference.
But it worries me now. It worries me because
It's really disturbing.
That-
I'm very worried about the whole thing, quite frankly. It's all
Yeah.
very worrying.
and
I
you're
mean,
very worried because you can't deny something that has been made.
well,
And
I
that's
mean,
dangerous.
we're going to finish up Buck Rogers, but I will say that in the news we'll talk about some of these shows which are coming on and stuff, and it's going to be interesting. So I'm going to just finish off with Buck
Yeah.
Rogers, if that's okay with you to say. Good series, definitely
can do.
a project of its time. It's obviously dated badly, but I don't care about that. I like old shows. I like the way
No,
they're
it
made.
is what it is, and it is what it is, and it's historical of that time because we
It
grew
is.
up in that
It
time.
is, and again,
That's
it
our world.
provided,
That's the world we grew up in.
and it
So-
provided again some fascinating insights.
And
into
it had a
science
lot of
fiction.
moral, like I said about Buck.
Always
when you're a
stories.
kid.
It always makes you think. Science fiction makes you think.
Yeah.
And
The guy was a hero.
Even if it's
The
cheesy,
guy
it doesn't matter.
Was a hero.
Yeah,
He was a hero. He did the right thing, and that's
Gil
all that
Gerard
matters.
was great. He was a great actor in the role, and it was his defining character as an actor. And I'm really glad that it was made. And thank you to Glenn R. Larson. I think he was involved. All those sort of people. Brilliant. Thank you so much, and we appreciate a classic show from the 80s. Right, on that note, let's go into drum. Well, I'm not going to hit drum roll, but we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. So let's hit that jingle, and here we go. There we go. I didn't hear a thing, but there we go. Here's the jingle.
Working.
Solar Sci-Fi
All right, so this week we, like I said, it's good to be back with you, Martin, after our break, and we've had.
Yes.
I've not seen many new series because, again, there's not much on for me. I did
All
see
right.
the new-
Let me dig my news up. Well,
as you dig in, let me
I've
just
got my
quickly
news.
say,
Yep.
we both have seen the latest Marvel film, which I can't remember what it's called. What was the latest Marvel? Black Widow.
Black Widow. Yeah.
Now, let's first ask you, what do you think of it? Because you're the Marvel man and you got me into Marvel. Did you like it?
To be honest, mate, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I know that
Yeah.
a lot of people have. Some YouTubers, there was some. I'm not going to mention names, but there was some YouTubers that I watched a few weeks ago, and they were going on about how it's de-emasculating men and all this, and I did. For me, when I watched Black Widow, Black Widow is what it is. She kicks ass. She's marvelous. I enjoyed the film.
And it was an insight into her character, wasn't it? It was like a prequel.
Yeah, it's
to her
not an
character.
intellectual piece of.
No, but it takes you
kicking
somewhere.
ass.
Your entertainment, and then that's what.
Yeah,
to
it
me,
takes you in,
to me, with Marvel, it doesn't. It can be. It's not necessarily always that deep, but it's like a roller coaster ride. You sit there with your popcorn. You're going to see explosions. You're going to see all sorts of things.
Yeah.
And it's fun. Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. I could probably give it a 7.5 out of 10, 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I go for same as you, but there's some YouTubers out there, I'm not going to say names, that write big points about it, about how it demasculates. And a female friend of mine said to me, she said, well, there must be very sensitive men then.
I think there are. I think that's our
and I
problem.
agree with her.
Very sensitive, very precious.
There's a lot of people now that look at stuff and they're looking at all this thing in it, like, you know, the political manipulation of Hollywood. You know, I don't think like that. I went to see it. I got 2.5 hours of thoroughly enjoyed. Scarlett Johansson is a fantastic actress. I enjoyed the film. I like the Russian.
That's what you want. That's what you want.
Thought it was funny.
Yeah.
You know, so good film. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too. Now what else have you
Loki.
seen? Yeah, Loki was good.
Loki,
I
yeah.
have seen Loki. I've seen the entire series.
If you need me to explain who Kang is, I will do. It's
but like I said,
confusing.
I mean, at the end, I mean, obviously spoilers if people haven't seen it. At the end, we've introduced this
have you
new
not
character.
seen it yet?
No, we have. I was one saying for people who haven't seen it. I've seen it, but other
right,
people haven't. So
okay.
what I'm saying is, so if you haven't seen it, just wait, spin on for 2 minutes. In the end, it did introduce this character behind this sort of castle door, and then of course it led into like this is going to be focusing on him in season 2. I knew he was some bad character, but I assumed it was something you were aware of that I wasn't aware of.
Yes, I knew, and I suspected it were him from the beginning.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll tell you after the podcast. All
right, okay. But I thought it was well made. I mean, when's the next Marvel show coming on? Is that it for a while now?
No. We've got She-Hulk coming. The next one is next week. It's What If. It's like the Marvel version of the Twilight Zone.
Oh, okay. So is it like a 10-part series? Okay. Well, give me some info and I'll see about that.
Basically, it's the Watcher who watches everything in the universe and records it all. He watches parallel universes. So next week it's Peggy Carter. She becomes Captain America in their universe.
Oh, that sounds interesting. Because I like the fact that
they take Marvel stuff and characters.
And they sort of characters and move it around. Yeah, that's it. Because I mean, this is
like Spider-Man. What if you never got?
They're going into multi-universes now and sort of multiple
timelines. That's why Loki.
That's what I was wondering as you said that. I wondered if that was the link. Well, I like that sort of stuff. I love that
just
sort of stuff.
You're in tune because a lot of people didn't like Loki, but Marvel.
No, I liked it. I thought it was solid. Yeah, I liked it.
Marvel's plan is that there's not just one universe, there's multiple universes.
I love that. I love things like sliders.
And they all interact with each other.
Yeah, and they all interact in
Marvel's
ways.
opened it up. That's why Loki is what it was. They've opened the door now to the main new big bad. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's great. Well, I mean, you know, you're the one that got me into it, so I'll definitely be checking that out. Where else have we seen?
Friday, on the 11th of August.
Now, other shows, I've not been focusing on Star Wars The Bad Batch. I think I'm going to wait until the end of the first season and watch them in bulk. Have you been watching any of The Bad Batch?
I've watched the first 6 episodes, and like you, I'm going to wait till we get to end of the series.
Yeah. Do you know, it's funny. It's funny with me.
Connected with this one.
No.
I'm connected with Bad Batch that much.
I will say that, again, even with the Star Trek series, I'm not a big fan per se of animated series in respect of live action series. I think that the Star Wars animated series are good. I like them. But I would watch The Mandalorian, even if I watched it an episode 20 times, rather than watching an animated episode once or twice. I don't know why, it's just me personally. It's like with the Star Trek series, we've got the Prodigy coming up and Lower Decks. With Lower Decks, again, I'll probably wait until it's all released and watch it in bulk. I don't know if I'm going to watch them once.
I'm not bothered about Prodigy.
No, that's really a child-based thing. I'm not going to wait. I'm actually probably not going to watch that at all, quite frankly. Lower Decks is okay, but it's Star Trek in essence, but it's just a comedy cartoon. I'm not really that interested in it. I mean, what I've heard is that they have finished filming Strange New World season 1. They've got to do a few pickup shots, They're literally finishing at the moment Discovery season 4. And I think Picard, they're going to be filming seasons 2 and 3 back to back, so that's going to be taking a while. So,
well, Kurtzman signed a new.
It's been expanded for another 5
2026.
years. I mean, I don't know what
So
you
I
think
don't
about
know,
that.
all these like YouTubers and that saying it's not getting any viewers and nobody's watching it.
No, well,
Then why
obviously
would
there must
they
be.
expand
There must
it
be.
till 2026?
No,
So
I mean,
why would
I think
they expand
I think
it? Somebody's watching it.
I think Discovery is going to go on for quite a few seasons.
I do.
It's already-
I think it's.
I think it's going to go on to at least.
all
I think
way.
it's going to go to 7 seasons at least. The way it's going.
I think it's either finish at 5 or it'll go to full 7.
And I hope the same thing will happen with Strange New Worlds. I think Picard is locked into 3 seasons limit because of Patrick Stewart, and then that's it
Yeah.
for Picard. But that's fine.
But it's-
That's fine.
Picard. I saw the trailer for Picard season 2.
It looked okay.
Yes.
It looked alright.
Yeah, I'm not going to knock it. Yeah, I've watched Picard again recently. I've got to admit, I did sort of.
It's better on
I
a
did
second
appreciate
viewing.
it a bit
Better
more
on the
this
second
time.
viewing. Yeah. I
Yeah.
still think it's got a lot of problems though for me.
Yes, I agree.
As a long-term start, I mean, like I said, I was watching Trek Yards the other day, and they were going on about the golden era of Star Trek, and they were saying that
Yes.
for them, the golden era really was the Next Gen, DS9, and Voyager, because they were all at the same
It's for
time,
me.
and it's for me. I mean, and I did enjoy Enterprise as well, and of course, you had the original Star Trek series, but for me, the golden era is probably around about probably the 3rd season of Star Trek Next Generation, which was about 1989. Till the end of Voyager, which was about 2001. So it was about just over a decade. It really was the 90s. It was the 90s.
Yeah, it was. And that
was the
good,
golden era. That was the
the
golden era.
90s were a good decade. It really was.
That was the perfect era for Star Trek.
it was,
Plus you had
yeah.
the movies as well, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that after that, of course, Enterprise I still like a lot, and compared to the Kurtzman era of Star Trek. But people are saying I don't think they're ever going to quite have that level of sophistication. And
I think,
also,
but
go on.
But we've said before that we bring this stuff back. It's not as if you can repeat it. The whole point, this is Star Trek. There is a generation out there. This is their Star Trek.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is their Star Trek. Just because we don't like it or in and out with it, we've had our original series. We were kids, but we got our big fix in the 90s and early 2000s. But there's a lot of people out there that Discovery and Picard and all this is their Star Trek. And I believe that Strange New Worlds is going to be the one that's going to, from what I was reading about, it's going to be a separate episode every week.
It is standalone, which is what I want.
And I think Anson Mount, the actor, is the one who can pull it off. And this
Well, we're
will
already
become
halfway there. We're
the
halfway
best
there.
Star Trek series, yeah.
It depends on how they write it, but Anson Mount's great.
Yes.
I like the guy that plays Spock as well. Peck, something I know it's because he's the grandson of Gregory
He's
Peck.
the grandson of
Gregory Peck. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's why I remember his surname, but I can't remember his. Is it Ethan Peck?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. He's good, and of course we have the actor who plays number 1 as well. She's okay, although not see much of her. So yeah,
Look,
I'm up for that. Really up for that.
To be honest, I quite like Star Trek Discovery season 1. I quite liked it. It kept me hooked.
Season 2 is my favourite so far of Discovery.
Season 2, I thought when Anson Mount came into it, changed it for me. But and I'm gonna say this, for me, this is my opinion. I thought season 3 was crap. I was bored.
Yeah, a lot of people actually.
Season 2, I just couldn't get into season 3.
A lot of people have said.
That's my opinion.
A lot of people say season 3 is the best. I personally agree that season 2 for me was the best. I just like the fact that it shook off the first season, and it went. And I like I said, we had the Enterprise, we had Anson Mount. I don't mind. I'm going to watch season 3 again. But for me at the moment, and like I said, the opinion could change. For me, season 2 is my favourite season of Discovery so far. But I'm interested in season 4 now that they're in the 31st century or 32nd century, wherever they are, and that the burn's done as well. So who knows?
Well, we're moving into another month. It'll be September, and then once we get around September, end of it, it's all coming back over.
Well, this is it. This is it.
Star Trek's coming. all this is coming now.
The end of, I'm going to say, by the time we get to like September, October, no, well, probably October, we're going to have Doctor Who coming back, which is the next thing I want to talk about. Then we're going to have, yeah, I know, but it's we're going to have and then we're going to have the Orville, and then we're going to have after I think the first, oh god, the Expanse. The first live one to come back will be Discovery for the Star Trek franchise.
Yeah,
and then of course,
definitely.
and then we've got Star Wars with the Book of Boba Fett. We got so much stuff.
Yeah, and,
I can't wait. We're going to have some great shows to focus on these. In our news sections, we'll be doing proper breakdowns of all the latest episodes, which I can't wait.
Yeah.
But again, it's been months since I've seen anything new, apart from a couple of these Marvel things. It's been
I think we did right taking a few weeks off. I think
but there wasn't much.
Really,
I mean,
was a good
yeah.
There were nothing, were there?
No,
there were nothing.
And also, it's quite hard work doing all the graphic. I like doing it, but it's not that I don't. But you need some time out. And the thing is, we're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. We can enjoy ourselves. We can catch up. We can share it with people like Trek fans who said that he's going to do a video or something we're going to play on a future show. He's going to do something for us soon, which would be cool.
Well, I think we should do a podcast at the weekend at some point. Just do a one-off at the weekend and invite him on.
Well, yeah, because we can easily hold it over.
Weeks.
We could actually hold it over, and then because I release it on Thursday, it doesn't matter if we filmed it. If we filmed it at the weekend, and then we can release it. And then it means that it gives us a bigger gap for the next one. I don't mind doing that if he doesn't mind.
Yeah, let me know whenever. You know me, mate. I roll with the flow.
Well, we got that joint chat between where all three of us chat. So if he comes on and says, I'm free, this, whatever, I'll check with you. I'll check with what I'm doing. And we'll work something out. Definitely. Have him on. It'd be cool.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think we better change then to the infamous subject, the subject which fills me with dread, and I'm going to hide under the table because I'm so scared.
Okay.
Doctor Who.
Christian, are you there, Michael?
No, I'm going to hold on. I'm holding on with fear. And all right. So what do you think? Okay. Chris Chibnall's gone. I'm surprised. I thought he would hang on for another regeneration. What do you think is going to happen to Doctor Who in the next few years?
Could you add some footsteps in a door being slammed and a voice saying, shut the door on your fucking way out and don't come back?
Well, I can tell you what, if I remember, I'll do the footsteps and then I'll also do Larry Grayson saying, shut that door. How's that sound?
Shut that door.
Yeah.
Shut that door. If I can find it, I will. Go on. So what do you think?
Well, look. Personally, I've got nothing against her. I think she's probably a sweet person. I've never met her. I think she never got a fair. I think she didn't get a fair crack at the whip. I don't blame her. Look, we both.
I don't mind her either.
When they brought a lady into it, we both supported it.
We did.
And we never carried on about it. When they announced that the Doctor was going to become a woman, we supported it. I did reviews and stood by that. I still do. But I don't think she got a chance because I thought Chris Chibnall went and bollocked it all up. And if he's meant to be this genius writer, that's beyond me. You know,
he did Broadchurch though, didn't he? Apparently Broadchurch is very hard.
I've never seen Broad. That's with
I've not either.
Wasn't
Chris Chibnall? Yeah, I'm not. It's not something I'd watch either. But critically,
but that's what he comes from. One of these big dramas, yeah.
So maybe it's because he's not a sci-fi writer per se. Do you think that might be a factor?
Yeah. And if you're gonna do sci-fi, you've got to have some connections to it. Yeah. First thing you've got to have an imagination for storytelling.
You've got to have that right mindset, and creativity.
A load of political patronising stuff down our throats.
But I don't think that's all his fault. I think that's the BBC's left-wing mentality of being everything very politically motivated. I don't think it's fully him. I do think that there are some. What do you think?
I think you've got a good point there. I'm not going to go into the whole thing.
I'm just.
But I think there is. I've got friends who are quite left wing. They're not. They're just like they believe in what they believe, and I'm not. You know, we've all got our.
No, we're not.
But a lot of them said to me. A lot of them said to me. And they're quite left wing. This is male and female, but they said they found it patronising.
Absolutely, me too.
So, and if people are saying that, and I found it patronising. There was all right. There was one or two decent episodes. I'm not saying there was, because there were one or two I did reviews on, and I thought they weren't that bad.
Yeah.
But all in all, it's been a terrible set. I think the sidekicks can't act.
Well, the guy that played Ryan he couldn't act out of a paper bag. He was the worst actor.
Yeah, but he's in the TV show in America now.
Yeah, but he can't act. He talks
Yeah,
like
I know,
he's like,
Doctor,
Doctor, we are
show in America.
Doctor, there is a Dalek over there, and the Dalek is pointing his ray gun at us. Doctor, what are we going to do? I mean,
it was like
Graham's
they were
good.
copying the Matt Smith thing as well. You know, like getting the family involved and all that, and it just didn't work, did it?
Yeah, but you see, from my issue, my aspect, and this is what I've always said about the problem with this current incarnation. First of all, there's too many companions, which I don't mind. When I still think of one of my favorite eras, which is not one of the main ones. I love the Peter Davison era. I love Tegan and this. I just think the three of them, and even Adric. And Adric's awful, but what I'm saying is, Peter Davison during that with three companions was still the Doctor. He was still the lead. He was still the person that everyone followed where he went. With Jodie Whittaker's Doctor, she is part of the quote fam. She's not the Doctor, she's a companion. She's not standing out as the Doctor. That is the problem.
Do you know what you've just said there? I never thought of.
That's my problem. That's what I've said.
She's
a companion. She's not a Doctor. She's a companion. She's just a Doctor. Yeah, with the name Doctor. She's not a Doctor.
I never thought of it like that.
That's how I see
genius.
it.
I never thought of that, mate, like that. And I think you're right.
That's the problem.
She
I have
would
with this.
make an awesome, wacky companion for the Doctor.
She'd be fine. But where's the Doctor? Why is she called the Doctor when she's not the Doctor? She's just a wacky companion. That's the problem with this era.
Actually, mate, you make a very good point there.
That's what I said. I mean, like I said, I've seen every Doctor, and every Doctor, some of the lesser appreciated ones, do have that aspect. But to me, and again, it's not Jodie Whittaker. I think she's a really. I like her bubbliness, and I think she's great. But she's not a Doctor.
No,
she's not, and it's just the way it's been written. Again, it goes down to writing. If they'd have made her with her personality where she's less kind of easygoing, sort of giggly, it's just more like a person like a captain on a Star Trek series. She's more like Tilly from Discovery or something. She's not like a captain.
Well, it's like Discovery, isn't it? I mean, I like Sonic Green, who plays. She's a good actress, but she can't carry the show. No. So when they got in Jason Isaacs, when he turned up, the show changed. It did. Because you had him as the captain,
and he was in the role.
Then season 2 started off, and then season 2 started, and it would have been it's all that, and then Anson Mountain suddenly took a life of its own.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They're not strong enough to be the centre character.
It's hard to be specific. That's what's wrong. That's what's wrong.
Yeah.
But whether if she'd been written better, that Jodie Whittaker as an actor could have met that characterization better is up to individual interpretation. Or whether if they had a different actor as a female Doctor who just had that kind of person that you look up to and ask them first, rather than being a team. You could be a team, but you could have a leader. She didn't feel like a leader. She felt like
you need that lead. You've got to. That is, to me, the character.
That is what has gone wrong with this era of Doctor Who. Not just the writing, and as you said, there's been one or two stories which have been good, but as a Doctor, she's not. She is a companion, just called the Doctor. That's what I think's gone wrong.
Yeah, but Michelle Gomez played the Master, and she was superb.
I know. I'm not disputing that at all. She was perfect.
That's what I mean. You're right because you couldn't.
She stood out. She had that twinkle in her eye, and you don't mess with Missy, and you didn't.
No, you don't.
She was perfect. I love Missy. I think.
Could you imagine Michelle Gomez as the Doctor?
Or can you imagine? What about if they'd have done Michelle Gomez comes up against the Whittaker Doctor rather than the new guy?
Yeah,
Kovac?
that could.
That might have been interesting. But
they were going to do that.
But they might not. They might not have done that because they realised that Whittaker's Doctor would not stand a chance against Gomez's Master.
Yeah. Because
I do know what I'm talking about.
Actress, isn't she? She's like a really out there person.
And Whittaker would give that sort of gurn expression that she gives in every episode, and I mean,
you're right. And she even
Missy would have sort of like. Yeah, Missy could have whacked her with a spade and the Doctor would be dead or something. She wouldn't have lasted 2 minutes against that Missy.
She even dresses like a companion, doesn't she?
I don't know what she's. I mean, she looks like someone you'd see down in Bognor in a caravan site or something. I don't know what she's wearing, but
Sorry to all the people that got to
Bognor. Sorry, they're on Bognor and caravan sites, but yeah, she doesn't.
What do you think to the comedian coming into it, Joey Bishop? He's called. Jimmy,
I don't know. I one thing I do say is I do have an affinity with Liverpool. I've not been there, but everything I've been watching lots of episodes of Brookside. I know you shouldn't generalise, but the Liverpudlians, from what I've seen, that they've got this really upbeat kind of own identity kind of thing. So I don't know until I've seen him, but yeah, bring him on.
He's a good comedian. He's a very funny guy. He's a good comedian. I've never seen him acting anything, so
I mean, Bradley Walsh.
This is his first.
Bradley Walsh was fine. I
thought he was so underused.
Yeah, again, he wasn't.
I thought he was so underused.
Nothing to do with Bradley Walsh's character. Yeah, I thought he was good as well. I don't know. I mean, like I said, it's going to be. I mean, obviously, now they're only doing a 6-parter, which apparently is a 6-part like Trial of a Time Lord thing, where it's all linked together. Which I don't. I'd rather than be standalone episodes myself. Seeing as her 3rd season is so short, that means that really you've only got one long story in the 3rd season, which I hate. Then we've got 3 specials next year, and the final episode will be in the autumn next year, culminating in a regeneration. But from what I understand, they've got nobody to take over. They have got. No one wants to do. No one wants a job.
They got that gay guy pop band. He's an actor. He did some series and they got an award for it. He was in some pop band and he's meant to be a really good actor. He's about 25 or something. So I don't know. I thought they were meant, because it's rumoured Russell T Davies put him forward. I don't know anything about him.
I can't say about him. I don't know anything about him either. So I
don't know. They're in. But did you read the thing about Michael Gestures?
I was about to bring that up. Yes. I love the way that you say things. Well, look. I mean, I think what they've got some options here now. Whether they could get Russell T Davies back, I don't think they will, because I think that he's moved on. It would be great, but it's a shame because he was great. I don't think Stephen Moffat will come back either. Michael J. Straczynski knows how to write science fiction. So if he was involved, he's obviously a Doctor Who fan. I think that there's a good chance Doctor Who will be saved. But if I know the BBC,
he's a massive Blake Seven fan as well.
Well, there we go. So, and of course, it was made by the same people, so he'll get it. Yeah. So, but they'll probably turn to some unknown person and just think, let's just see how it goes. Like I said, I really think this is the last gasp. This feels to me at the moment, Doctor Who's feeling very Sylvester McCoy, running out of steam, end of Doctor Who, 1988. And it really does. And this now, with they lost the Saturday night time slot, they're bringing it on Sundays, they're having big gaps, then they're having like just a few specials, and it's going to be a shorter season. Doctor Who in the 80s, the seasons got shorter and all this sort of stuff. So it's a last gasp. But I was half expecting them to say, well, look, we're going to finish with one more special, and then it's going to take a long break. For a few years.
I had this chat with my mate when he came round to see me on Friday, and we thought the irony that she gets this final season and it's probably going to be exemplary, and all the haters will be sulking because like suddenly this 3rd season is like absolutely amazing. But the 2nd
season was an improvement on the 1st, even though a lot of people hate the time of the show.
And then everybody's going to be upset when she leaves, because why couldn't you write like this from the beginning? I've got a feeling this 3rd season is going to be a lot better than what we expect. I don't know. I've got a feeling.
They're saying that Chibnall was only ever going to be on the show for the 5-year contract. But I don't believe that. I think that basically he did it. He found it had so much negativity after the 1st season that he wrote. The 2nd season was an improvement. But I think he's had enough. And I think that he just wants to wash his hands from it and move on.
Well, there was a guy. Oh, I forgot his name. I'll send you the video. I will dig it out. There was a guy. He apparently there've been some script leaks, and for this series, and apparently it's the Timeless Child. Well, I don't know. This is what he said. We got it all from these wherever information it was meant to come in. It got leaked. He says apparently where this is all going now, the Doctor's not the Timeless Child.
I think it's going to be a cop out too. I think it is. It is
the
a cop
Timeless
out.
Child.
I agree.
The Timeless
I agree.
Child is the Master. Right.
Yeah,
This is what
yeah. I think that's
so.
interesting.
So that other Doctor we'll say is an incarnation of the Master. The other.
what
she's
you mean
not
the
Doctor.
woman that we saw last season with the?
Yeah. She's
I think they will. I think
he goes
I'd like
insane.
that. I'd like that. Yeah.
And he
that sounds good.
he loses it, and then what happens is the Daleks, they're all tied up. There is a main protagonist manipulating events in the background, and it's Rassilon.
Oh, we have seen Rassilon. We saw Rassilon. We have seen him in New Who, haven't we? We've seen him a couple of times. We saw him.
Well, the
two
Master
incarnations.
the Master finds out he's the Timeless Child, and he goes seeks out Rassilon. But Rassilon, apparently, he's working with the Daleks, and they're up to something bigger than Thanos' snap.
Okay.
Apparently, they're going to do something bigger than what
Something
Thanos did.
Right.
You know, when he snaps
cool.
his finger. That's
Right.
what I've read. Now I could be wrong, but it does. If it is this, it does sound quite good.
I just hope. Let's just. I mean, like I said, this time next year we'll be heading to the last ever episode, and then we all
When's
know who
it
the new
back?
showrunner.
When is it actually back then?
It's not
November.
confirmed. It's going to be late autumn, sort of. Probably it's only going to be 6 weeks, so I would have thought it'd be late October, or
Just
early
before
November.
Christmas, then. Won't
And
it?
then
Be like a month,
then you'll have the New Year's one, obviously after Christmas.
There's
then you'll have one.
There's two specials over.
There's
Christmas.
three specials.
One on-
Oh, is there two at Christmas?
I think there's two. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was going to be a six-parter.
No, I think there's like you said, I think there's 8 episodes that are going to be shown, and there's 2 special. The specials are on Christmas Day and New Year's Day.
Well,
I don't know
I've
that's
heard
about.
differently. I mean, like I said, you might be right, but what I've
Maybe
heard
I
is
could be wrong.
I've heard they're doing 6-parter. Then they're
Right.
going to finish that and have a New Year's Day one.
Yep.
And then we're going to have another special in the spring, probably around Easter, like we did with the David Tennant last season. And then we'll have another gap, and the last episode will be in the autumn. That's what I've heard. So we'll have 6-parter, then we'll have Christmas, then we'll have the New Year is the first special, then a gap, then in spring, probably Easter, we'll have the second special, and then the autumn we'll have the last special with Whisker and Christian will running it. So interesting. But there we go. That's all our Doctor Who news. So it's interesting, and I can't wait to see how it goes. Any other news before we start wrapping up?
I did pick up some interesting things. We talked about What If. We talked about Kurtzman. Doctor Who as an MCU and sci-fi veteran wanting to take over after showrunner leave.
Right.
I don't know. Hang on, what's that about? Oh no, it's J. Michael Straczynski. I think. Oh yeah, Flash Gordon movie is still happening, but with one big change.
Oh, what's that?
For Love and Thunder director has envisioned bringing the Space Explorer to life via animated film fast forward to 2021. However, Waititi is dancing to a slightly different tune. Don't worry, Flash fans, he still wants to move it up, and it's just going to look a little different from what you were expecting.
Okay.
That's it.
all right.
That's all he
Yeah.
says. Yeah.
That's all right. I still haven't
my
heard
news.
about. I'm still waiting. I mean, apparently the new Ghostbusters Afterlife is. trailer
Oh yeah, I
been
wanted
released.
to chat about that.
What do you think?
I'm very excited for this. I watched the new trailer. I think I sent you something about it actually. But I'm very impressed. I've got a feeling they've just got this so right, you know.
That's just why they're
I know
holding
it's
off.
they're passing it on to kids.
No, I
but
know.
I've got a
It does
feeling
look- yeah, it's gonna
There's
be
something
quite good.
in this.
Yeah, I've got a good
There's
feeling
some
too.
when you watch it, the trailer, you feel quite connected to it.
And
You
I like
know,
the last
I
scene
don't
where
know
you hear.
why, you just do.
There's a very funny scene at the end where you hear Bill Murray saying we're closed, and you hear the old phone ringing and stuff like that. Yeah, I think it's
It is
good to me.
it's Goza. It is
Gozar the Gazarian, isn't it?
Shandor, yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's gonna be
Shandor, the guy that built that building,
And
so
those
it's gonna be
those
interesting.
ghost dogs are running around as well, and you see them Stay Puffed and stuff. So yeah.
So
I think
they've
it's gonna be-
stayed with like continuity all the way through this.
Oh yeah. It
Love
looks like
that
it's
way.
going to be. I think it's going to be. Somebody's saying, "Where's the comedy? Where's the comedy?" Well, I think there's some funny scenes, and there's only so much they can cram into a trailer anyway. But the Bill Murray saying we're closed, to me, that was just like, oh, that's lovely. I love that. So
I'm actually going to go to the cinema to see that. I'm actually going to go see that.
Yeah, I think it's coming out in November. I think it's November it comes out. Quite late.
All right.
So, but you know, we're already first week in August, so time's going by. What other news have I heard about? I've not really heard anything major. They're still trying to get another Stargate series going, but that's gone quiet
I think
again.
that's happening. That's going to happen.
I
by
still not
next
heard
year.
anything. Yeah, and I still not heard anything about the new Matrix film, which I really want to see as well. That's gone quiet. So there's been some news, but like I said, it's been a gap. But there's still not much stuff I've seen new. I'm going through. Go on.
How do you feel about this new Matrix film now? How do you feel about it? What's your opinion on this?
That's a good question. I love all the Matrix films. I love the first one the best because that is one of the most pinnacle science fiction series in the last films in the last 20 years. I'm worried that it could be just a way of making money and it could drag the whole thing down. I don't know. As it's very quiet and there's not much information, that might be a negativity. How about you, Martin? What do you think?
I think I'm on the same wavelength as you on this. I'm sort of sat on the fence. I think it should be left alone.
Yeah.
But we'll have to wait and see what happens. Like I said, I'm 50-50 on it. I've got a feeling they're going to end sinking an amazing franchise.
Yeah, that's what
And
I'm
that
worried
worries
about.
me. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I've been watching the Alien franchise again. I mean, watch the Alien versus Predator, and then of course you've got the prequels with Prometheus and Covenant, and of course, you know, some of the way that those films went, it's like, did you really need to do that? Could you just like not?
I didn't mind, to be honest. I didn't mind Prometheus, but when I watched the second one, is it Covenant?
Covenant.
I got halfway through it and switched it off.
Have you not seen it fully? That's interesting.
No, I know what happens, but I couldn't.
I still recommend. I recommend that when you feel like it, give it another go and watch it fully, and then
Really?
And then you can yeah, I would give it a watch. Yeah.
All right, I will. I'll take. Yeah.
And then we could. And then if you
look,
want, we could in the future we can even do a show.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about them.
Yeah, well, I like your opinion. So yeah, I'd like to hear your opinion about that.
Yeah, all right.
I'll go at some point.
I will. I'll give the second one another go. I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, I know what you mean with
I thought
certain
this
things.
was crap.
Yeah, certain things I'm like that. Just, I'm not watching.
And I was so disappointed about the outcome of it. You know, I wanted the engineers and all this. And
Which you did see in the
what they gave
Prometheus.
it was just a cop out. Yeah.
And the engineers look different in the second one in Covenant as well.
Yeah, well, they're
Weird,
not the
yeah.
engineers, other they're some clone race of them, apparently. So.
Yeah, I can't remember how it was now, but I mean, yeah, I know.
Prometheus, that's what I mean. I was just sat there and thought, are you kidding me? Is this
But
what
the
you've
guy that
come
plays
up
the android was good though. I can't remember his name, but I
David.
liked his.
David.
Yeah, I thought David was good. I did like his character actually.
What do you think to this new Predator? The film? I've seen pictures of it. It's called Predator Skull, and it's the first Predator that comes to Earth that takes on a Comanche, an American Comanche, a Red Indian, and she takes a Predator out. It's the first.
Do you know what? Unless it's really clear, if they do it to the Predator, because it's back in time, it's more primitive. It hasn't got all the gadgetry of the Predators we've seen. That might be interesting. If it's just another generical Predator with the same technology running around chasing after Indians or whatever, I think I'm done. That's another franchise where. Well, no, you know what I mean? No. What if it's the same thing? You've got the same thing with the heat seeking and the sound effects like we used to mix with
target,
but it's, instead of an Indian running around with a teepee or something going, oh, and it's like, no. I don't know about that. Like I said, there's only so many times you can have a predator chasing people with his invisibility cloak in the jungle, and this time it will be in the open space of American I don't know, Texas, where it would be set. I don't know.
Yes.
So I don't know. Like I said, that's another sort of franchise which does have its limitations. The same as, in many ways, the Alien franchise is the same because they do have parallels. There are some parallels.
Well, apparently, there's an Alien series coming anyway.
I think the series I want to see, and I think it would be
Yeah.
massive, and it would be huge. And I know that both of us, they did it right, and it's been so interesting.
Yeah.
It could be huge. Do you know what? What am I thinking? It's something we both love. It's something which is big. Actually, won't. It's probably too big. I'll tell you. It would be The Thing. I would like a Thing series. I want the first episode where a Thing escapes from the base in the film, and it starts to make contact, and people start to discover it, and they start to have a resistance. They have to find ways of stopping it from you taking it, or maybe they could develop some drug or something.
It's got to be done right.
But I just think, to me, with what they could do with special effects, I think that would be one of the biggest, best potential series ever.
But it's got to be done right. It's got to be done right.
I know, but
if they had the right,
I know, and I like the prequel.
It's one of the best films.
I still like the prequel. No, I still like the prequel.
Yeah, I do.
But I just think they could do that, and it did in a really clever way. Where it was like a big arc, and the first season is set in like Antarctica, and the second one is then and it's starting to battle through and get further or get more and more worldwide. And they could have different seasons in different countries, or they could they could do it so good. It'd be so cool.
Well, there could have been another alien on that ship where the alien was battling it on board the ship, and it crashed, and you couldn't.
We don't
know. The aliens could turn up.
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
they're here to sterilise the Earth because they can't afford it getting off the planet.
Or there's something. There could be some debris from one of the aliens which is blown up at the base, and then when people come to, they pick up and they find some samples. They find
there's the ship. The ship's still there.
Yeah, but it's not just that. You've got bits of.
Still there.
I mean, but you have some characters
technology there.
Oh yeah, I just think if they did that, it'd be just so cool.
There's so much there, but it's got to be done right.
Or what if when they got to the ship in the original, when they inadvertently triggered a distress signal, and then of course it could be another ship with the shapeshifters wrong. I don't know. I'm just talking generally, but I just think that they could really.
No.
They could really do something
so
good.
much scope.
There's more there to do. There's more there to get out of that franchise.
Yeah, there's
I think Alien and Predator are, in many ways, they're done. They're great, and I don't think there's much more they can do with those two respective franchises.
I think what I'd work with. I think the one thing you could milk two movies out of Aliens and Predator is putting Colonial Marines in it.
Yeah.
You do a movie set in the universe with Colonial Marines. And then at the end of the movie they come into the Alien Predator Corporation conspiracy thing, and the two movies, and they bring the whole thing down. I think that's where I think that'd be a great finish for the great trilogy. I really do.
Yeah.
Well,
you never know. You never know.
Marines.
You never know. I mean, like I said, always live in hope.
But it's like somebody said something about I forgot what it was. There were a TV show, and they screwed it up. Because there was so much material there they could have took, and they didn't. This is what I mean with some of these franchises. It's all set out for them, and all you got to do is put it in the right order.
Just put it in the right. Yeah. No, they don't.
Just undoing it.
They mess it up. No. It's really strange, isn't it? Well, Martin, that's great. I think we had some good discussion tonight. Is there anything else before we sign off? I think we're pretty much done.
Yeah, I'd like to. I did. Tom, I voted for you, mate, and
I did too.
On your book,
yeah. I mean. Yeah, because Tom was in this thing where he could get his book developed into some sort of movie, and he didn't win, but he did well. And I was certainly trying to promote him.
But that's what it's all about, mate.
So I really hope that. Yeah, and he said apparently he did post that apparently because of what he did, it's also giving some potential directions for other ways of getting the book more known out there in respective producers and stuff like that. So yeah, good luck, Tom. You are an honorary member of our podcast, and we hope to have you back soon when you're available.
Yes.
So thank you, Martin.
Sci-fi brother.
Exactly, from New Jersey, not New York, as you always used to say. Right, Martin. Well, thank you very much for another good show. It's been a good fun. Next
Yes.
week, are we going to do Alien Nation? I think we were talking about Alien Nation, aren't we?
I think we should do Alien Nation because that's quite an interesting.
And
Are you on
after
about
that,
the film or? are you
I
on
was going to talk
bring
about
all of it?
I was going to talk about the TV series.
I'm
But we
fine
could
with
actually.
that.
Well, actually, no. Why don't we do the whole thing? Well, I don't know. No, let's do a TV series because the series has got a
All
lot
right.
of potential there. We can mention
Yeah.
the film, the TV
I
series.
love that
really took
series.
it
You
and-
know,
I
absolutely
like it too.
adored Alien Nation.
Yeah, I like that too. And then the week after that, I'd like to do because I'm watching it at the moment for the first time and loving it. Logan's Run, the TV series. I'm really, really
Yeah.
enjoying that. And I was talking to some people, and I reckon that when I used to live in London, we had London weekend television on ITV and Thames. I don't think they showed it. I don't think they showed. They showed it up north.
Oh, we got it on
Um,
Yorkshire on the
I
Saturday.
don't think we didn't get it. I'm sure I would have
All
seen
right.
it. I think I would have seen it, and I never did. And I love the movie. So because I was on the Nightmare Man on Facebook, and most people were saying, oh, they saw the TV series before the film, and the TV series I'm only vaguely
Yeah, I
aware
did.
of them. And I've only
Yeah,
like I
because
said,
when the film was an adult film, it was a double A.
yes, yeah, exactly, which is
So I
surprising.
was too young to go see it, so I saw the series first.
Yeah, but I want to talk to you about that because that's an interesting difference. So, anyway, Martin, thank you. We're going to try and leave with this Buck Rogers thing. I'm going to muck about with the audio and just try to fool YouTube. It's going to sound odd,
Good luck.
but I'm going to try and make his voice sound a bit different. I don't know. It might really sound bad, but if not, then, well, I don't know. I'm chuck something else on. So, we'll catch you next week on the Solo One Sci-Fi podcast. Martin, thank you very much.
Yes, live long and prosper.
Thank you.